Hey, what is up? Kogaten Luffy here. So, today, Dragon Ball Extreme Butōden is finally released. I actually was just playing the demo to go ahead and get some practice in, but I decided I'm actually going to go ahead and show you that the game is out and it's available in the Japanese eShop, and I'm actually going to go ahead and download it and talk to you, kind of go over my feelings for the game. A little bit. This will be unedited, so I'm probably gonna mess up a little bit. But anyway, bear with me, guys. So Extreme Butōden is actually the first 2D sprite based Dragon Ball Z game that I think we've gotten in years. I don't think we've gotten a game like this since Super Sonic Warriors 2. I mean, unless you want to count fan games like Hyper Dragon Ball Z, which is pretty freaking awesome if you haven't played it. So, if you're waiting for this game and you haven't played Hyper Dragon Ball Z, I totally suggest you go and download it. It's actually a Mugen game, or Mugen game, and that's the one where you have all these fighting characters and stuff like that, and they're all mixed together, but it's actually a really good game. You can do a lot of crazy combos, totally worth it. So here I am on the Nintendo eShop. The game is actually out, so I'm going to go ahead and purchase it, pressing this little blue tab at the bottom of the screen. Actually, the physical version came out today in Japan as well, so you can pick that up. One reason I decided to go ahead and buy this game was because I guess my rationale is that if the game does good in Japan, then I figure that the game will be localized, and I know a lot of people really want this game localized, especially with the hype of Fukatsu no F coming out to America. You know, Battle of the Gods just recently came out, and Dragon Ball Z is it's popular. I mean, it's always been popular, but it's trending. I mean, it's kind of like everybody knows that we're getting more Dragon Ball content. And not only that, Dragon Ball Z, or Super Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super, is coming out in July. So, I mean, that's a brand new Dragon Ball Z series. I mean, like, I never thought I'd see the day where we get another Dragon Ball series. Like, I'm coming back from years ago when Dragon Ball Z was on Cartoon Network and it was on Toonami, and I actually remember getting into Dragon Ball Z during the Android saga. I remember I had some friends who would talk about it actually when I was like, I want to say maybe in elementary school or middle school, but I didn't know what it was, and everybody was like, oh, Goku's going to Namek, he's fighting Frieza. I was like, what the hell, I don't, but I really got into it during the Cell saga. So, after that, I've been a huge fan ever since. I remember watching the Majin Buu saga on, Toonami, and actually when the show went into a hiatus, right after the tournament, when Goku and Majin Vegeta were fighting, and they did all their fighting and all that crap happened, and then Majin Vegeta went to go fight Majin Buu, and he self-destruct. It was like a hiatus, I want to say about a year and a half, where we didn't get any new episodes, and I just was like beside myself because I didn't know, what was gonna happen. And so, I mean, the internet was a different place back then. Not like you could just go to YouTube and find out, what happened and things, watching the Japanese episodes and stuff like that. But I eventually found out that not only is there more to Majin Buu, but there was another series altogether, which was Dragon Ball GT. So I remember, all these people coming in talking about Super Saiyan 4 Goku and all this other crazy stuff, Gogeta infusions. I just kind of blew my mind. But yeah, Dragon Ball has kind of lived with me for years. Like, it's been a really influential just series, cartoon series, anime series, manga, etc. So anyway, about this, I'm really happy that we got Extreme Butōden. We recently just got Xenoverse, which was actually a very good game. I feel like over time, actually was working on a review. I never actually finished my review. But over time with the DLC and the updates that we have been getting for the game, also with the release of the Steam or the PC version of the game, my opinions for that game have really changed for the better. But I mean, it was never a bad game to begin with. My opinions just have gotten even better for the game. So, with regarding Extreme Butoden, I'm really happy to see Dragon Ball Z back on 3D or on DS or handheld, excluding like games like Dragon Ball Heroes or those card RPG type games, which are not bad, but they're kind of not my, that genre isn't something that I find appealing at all, actually. But they're good games. I mean, I remember playing like the ROMs for Super Nintendo, for all the Super Nintendo Dragon Ball Z games, and you're fighting with cards and stuff. I mean, those are really fun too. But as a gamer, I tend to play less RPG games now. Not that I dislike RPGs, but there's some that I really, really like, and I stick with those series. Typically Final Fantasy, Tales of, Kingdom Hearts, and stuff like that. Fire Emblem, I've tried to get into that a little bit too, but I just really haven't been into RPGs like I used to. So fighting games, and specifically 2D fighting games, just kind of blew my mind when they announced Dragon Ball Extreme Butoden, which was kind of interesting because not too long ago, the team, I think that guy's name is Belshazzar or whatever, but the guy who has the YouTube channel, and he might be one of the developers for Hyper Dragon Ball Z, he put out a trailer, and this trailer was like a kind of like an old school arcade game trailer, and it, to some people actually believe that Hyper Dragon Ball Z existed as an arcade game. When I first saw the trailer, like while I was watching the trailer, I started going to Wikipedia and I started looking things up, because it's like, how did this game exist without me knowing about it? Because I remember, you know, back when I was, you know, a kid, I was downloading Dragon Ball ROMs like crazy, because we hadn't had a Dragon Ball Z game in the States. The only Dragon Ball Z game that was available that some people, you know, by chance had, it's, you know, we'd have all these crazy rumors about, oh yeah, if you have a, you know, you have to have some kind of magic swap or some kind of crazy disc changing thing for PlayStation 1 to play this game, and it's over $500, we got it from Japan, etc, etc. But they were talking about Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. So Dragon Ball GT Final Bout was pretty much the only accessible Dragon Ball game in the States for a really, really, really long time. The other one was Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, I believe, which was a 2D fighter. But they're all on PlayStation. I actually didn't grow up with the PlayStation. I grew up mostly with Sega consoles, but yeah, didn't have access to those games. Actually, for a while, there was actually an emulator that was on the market for PlayStation 1, which was called Bleem. And I originally got Bleem because I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII on my PC, but bought Bleem and I was hoping I could play Final Bout. Never worked. And there was some other PlayStation emulators in development at the time that were free, but I didn't have, you know, the specs to run it, didn't have a good computer, and those emulators didn't quite work, you know. But nowadays, everything's pretty much accessible. I mean, it's really, really interesting now how games have gotten so big where you can just literally import stuff from local stores. I mean, the internet, you can buy stuff online. I mean, it's really fascinating to see how the world has changed in that sense. Because, I mean, really, you can just have access to stuff in Japan as it comes out in Japan. I mean, it's not even June 11th yet. It's June 10th in the States. And I'm downloading a game that came out June 11th in Japan, because it's obviously June 11th in Japan right now. So it's really fascinating to see how access and stuff has changed. But it's like going back to this 2D fighting game back on Nintendo 3DS. I mean, I'm super excited to play this game, like the full version. So not too long ago, the demo came out, and I believe it came out, I want to say I believe it was Famitsu, or maybe it was V-Jump, but one of the magazines had like a a downloadable code or something so you could go ahead and download the game early. And eventually they actually put the Dragon Ball Z Butōden, Extreme Butōden demo on the eShop for everybody to download. But when I played the game and I uploaded a video to YouTube on it, my impressions were mixed at first. And you know, with fighting games, you can't really learn fighting games in a day. You usually don't. There's usually a lot of little exploits and tricks and extra combos you can do once you actually, you know, play through the game a few times, or even once you start playing real people, you start to learn more things. I mean, as more people get the game, they discover things, they talk about it, they share it online in videos, etc. I felt that the game was a little simplistic in terms of the combos. Like most of the combos were Y, 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 X, or Y, 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 etc. And I felt like, really, if you wanted to do some really lengthy, flashy combos, you had to do those, maybe, you know, Y, 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 or Y, Y assist, Y, you know, L, A, because if you hold the L button and you press A, you have, or L and A, I think L and X and L and Y, I think they all have different attacks that they do for different characters. But I felt that it was a little simple, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But some of my favorite fighting games are Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Skullgirls. I play Super Street Fighter 4 or Ultra Street Fighter 4, Guilty Gear Xr'd. I mean, there's a lot of games that I'm really interested in, and they're a little bit more complex. I mean, to an extent, Smash Brothers as well. It's very complex in terms of the way you can do combos with regards to Smash 4 and Melee. So I felt that this game was a little lacking in that department, but I mean, when you think about it, a lot of Dragon Ball Z games have never been super extremely deep in depth and stuff like that. I want to say, with exception to Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 and Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi, I feel like those two games, you could do some really crazy stuff if you learned how to play the game. Specifically, also in the Budokai games, there was a lot of infinite combos, and a lot of combos that you could just chain together and do crazy stuff and have the enemy like a knockdown state almost indefinitely, or until you kill them. So, you know, it's really too early to tell, so I'm gonna have to withdraw my initial feelings after, you know, playing the demo and save them for once I've played this game a little bit more thoroughly, and possibly play online, because I do believe this game has online play. I'm not entirely sure, but it'd be kind of silly if it didn't. But I think I'm almost over the age where or I think I'm over it when games don't have online play anymore. Like if they're handheld games, they don't have online play. I mean, usually they're never super crazy good where they really needed online play. Like, for example, another game that came out that was pretty good was One Piece Grand Battle X. That game actually has online, and it's a pretty fun game. You can do some pretty interesting combos once you learn the game. But I've never played it online, not even once. So, you know, I don't know. I guess my opinion has changed for some of the games. And it's actually kind of difficult playing some of the handheld games online. I have to say Smash Brothers is the game that actually really got it right. Another game that I thought was really close was Jump Ultimate Stars, until, you know, everybody started hacking online with their R4 adapters and stuff like that. It became a huge cluster. But Jump Ultimate Stars was a really good game online. Trunks everywhere, Senna, and what was it? The one guy from, I want to say Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya. So yeah, there was like 3 crazy assist characters that you saw everywhere. Everybody called it the Big 3. Man, game facts. Jump Ultimate Stars. Good times. So it looks like the game is almost done.